Hello, I am Kelly Crum, Chief Diversity Officer and Director of Diversity, Equity, and Belonging, and part of the Jackson Juneteenth Executive Committee. Community is important because it defines who and what we are. The dynamic husband and wife duo has brought Jackson and other surrounding cities a community of professionalism and excellence. I now introduce Kelvin and Alicia Williams of AV1 Media Group and Split Screen Mobile Production. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
I'm a sound engineer. I design, build sound system. I tour with sound system and video. So basically that's what I do for a living.
So your production is silver screen mobile production, correct?
Split screen.
Split screen, sorry, mobile production. And then Alicia has AV1Presentation. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business a little
Absolutely. I am technically the owner of Audiovisual One Presentations. It was basically a company that we put together and built around Kelvin's skills and talents. When we met each other, he was doing this. He was doing sound engineering and touring, and so our first few years we lived the life on the road, and our kids grew up in hotels. And when he decided to come off the road and really incorporate everything that he's done and had been doing for the 20 years prior, we established a business here, right here in Jackson, to be able to accommodate the needs for the local live venues and events that were occurring.
Excellent. So are you a Lumen Christie grad?
I am, Lumen Christie, 1984.
1984.
Yep, I'm a proud Titan and a proud Sparty.
All righty. Kelvin,
Yes.
Go Vikings? Is that what you are?
Yes, Jackson High.
Jackson High School.
The best.
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
So you went to Jackson High, you went to Lumen Christie, and so do you feel like being a part of the community has helped with your business?
You know, it has been a transition throughout the years. It definitely has been a struggle, being a minority-owned business, finding a foothold within the community that recognized that you can get nationally renowned technology and skill and integration into your event right here in Jackson, because people think you've got to go to the major cities, to the Chicago, to the Atlanta to get that type of talent. And he's been all those places and brought it right back here to Jackson. So,
Kelvin, tell us a little bit about who famous that you did your sound for.
Oh, wow.
Who was it that you brought maybe to Jackson that you helped facilitate some of those great music legends?
oh my gosh.
Wow.
Want to start with my favorite?
Okay, yeah, start with your favorite. I mean, I work with The Time.
Absolutely, Prince.
Prince.
Absolutely.
Ray Charles, Dizzy Gillespie, Aerosmith. I think that's their name, I forgot.
We go
Electric
through
Light
the list
Orchestra.
all
I
the
mean,
time.
there's just, it's a big list.
Yeah, especially for those 80s babies.
Yeah.
Atlantic Star, Midnight Star, Ready for the
I
World,
remember.
DeBarge.
Y'all
all of
taking me
those.
back. Y'all
Yeah.
taking me way back.
It was dealing that. I mean, that's what, I was on the road, and we some of them were tours and some of them what you call one-offs. That's this one night somebody has a show and they just call me in, and we just, I mix the sound for them or do the full production for them.
What do you remember most?
Some of them were just so cool. Then the other ones were just, who is he? What is he doing here? But other than that, it was great. I mean, those guys and women, they're great. We had some problems with some of the acts back in the day. I mean, never mind, I don't want to get into never mind. But other than that, it was nice. It was really nice.
Yeah.
What drew you to want to be the sound person, the sound guy?
Well, I wanted to start with video when I was in middle school as a cameraman, but when my sister took me to a Shaka Khan with Mandrill in Michigan State University.
Okay.
So I saw this guy in the back doing all the work, and I asked him what he was doing. He said, I'm mixing sound for the band, and that's what, from then on.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Alicia?
This was not in my wheelhouse whatsoever.
Okay.
I had not planned to do anything like this. It wasn't what I went to school for. I just have always been a techno nerd, a total geek. Even in high school, I was the AV girl. I was the one that knew how to thread the film strip, work the mimeograph, all of those things. So I always liked the technology piece of it. And being able to tour with him and see many of the shows being behind the scenes. And that's actually how we met, was in a production where I was behind the scenes doing the stage production, doing all of the, assisting with choreography. So I really like the technology piece of it. And I'm a software person, he's a hardware person, and together it just made a great pair and company and partnership.
I love that. You have a husband and wife duo team. What are some challenges that you two face?
Remembering who's the boss.
Wow.
Love that.
Yeah.
On paper,
So
and the boss.
You're the boss on paper.
But when it comes to setup and technology, until the hardware is in place, I have to defer to him. And he's such a perfectionist and really goes above and beyond for his customer and for the event that, and I'll be not even shy to say, sometimes I'm like, but they didn't ask for that. He wants to do that little bit of extra. So it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of prep and setup and devotion to the event. So sometimes I have to defer to what he wants to do to show his excellence. So that's a little bit difficult for me sometimes.
While you were talking, it was making me think is, how do you provide good customer service? Because evidently there's a lot of folks here in Jackson that call you all up, right?
Absolutely.
To come and do. We've done things at Jackson College, our Martin Luther King program. I know you've done stuff for the chamber and so on. Define to us, what is customer service to you?
Making sure it's done right and they don't have to worry about it. See, when a CEO goes up to the microphone, he or she, they don't want to worry about,
Is it going to work?
is it going to work? Any feedback. And that's what I make sure, or the B-roll or the tape roll is rolling when they want it to, or the graphic is up on the screen. They don't want to worry about. That's something that when we come in, they don't worry about. That's the main thing.
I like to chalk it up as whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Whatever it's going to take to make it the best event possible. And then we realize that when we walk away from it at the end of the day, people are going to say, AV1 did a good job.
Yeah.
Well, I will contest that you guys do an awesome job. How can someone get a hold to you all?
My email is av1calvin2, that's A is Apple, V is Victor, the number 1, the number 2 at yahoo.com, or they can call me at 517-206-5538.
And we also have a Facebook page and LinkedIn page. And we're pretty much, you can ask around and someone knows how to get a hold of Calvin Williams. And that phone number has not changed in over 35 years.
Oh,
so.
wow.
Yeah, we have almost first cell phone, they came out. I think
number.
the third number that I had was 206.
That one.
Yeah.
So right next to me is this Audio Visual One presentation, Best of 2021. Tell us about this award that you all received.
Go ahead. I want to hear it from you, Dawn.
Well, no, it was quite a shock. We received a couple of emails, and at first I ignored it. I think we were working, and you get those kind of who's who type of events where they want you to pay for it and get things done. But as I started reading it, I decided to go ahead and complete the information that they wanted, because I really think Calvin deserves the recognition for what he does. This is definitely not our first award, it's our latest award. We have been in national competitions, and we came in third for the Midwest for the Parnelli Awards. And because he is known across the country, we do get our name submitted into a lot of things, but this one was important because we had not felt like Jackson had recognized or remembered that we've been doing this for a very long time. So to receive this from Jackson, I think this one's very
that's
special.
a great one. Yeah.
And it's actually the prettiest one that we have. I love this award. Thank you.
And so it leads me to my next question. How important is it to have representation of Black-owned businesses in the community?
I absolutely think it's critical. This is a community based on a multicultural shades of colors of nationalities. Jackson really is a melting pot of all of the cities that are surrounding us. So you're talking Hanover, Horton, Vandercook, Grass Lake, Ann Arbor, Lansing, Battle Creek, Albion. So to be minority owned, I mean, it doesn't have to be Black, but to be minority owned and recognize that you are here, that you're hometown, and that you've been here all of this time. And Jackson is built off of some amazing minority-owned, African-American-owned businesses that we've worked with for many, many years. Yeah. But all of us have been kind of under the radar, and it's time to put a spotlight on the amazing place that Jackson is. And, you know, I love to remind people, we're right there at that vortex between 94 and 127. Wherever you're going in Michigan, you're going to come through Jackson. So stop, because we got it all here.
There's this new building right here. I mean, this is what I always wanted, this building right here.
Were you able to get support from local financing here from Jackson? Were there some struggles, or was it all just
it was
easy
at first.
peasy?
It was at first. I got a loan from Comerica Bank. That was my first business loan.
Okay.
And it wasn't large, like $10,000 or something like that. And I just bought a bunch of gear, and it wasn't enough. But we had to work with what you could. Yeah.
It was a start.
Yeah.
I definitely don't feel like the minority businesses have had their fair opportunity to grow and diversify based on the finances that have been available to them. Even in this pandemic time, you know, so many of the minority-owned businesses did not have the resources to receive many of the PPP loans and the paycheck protection loans and the hardship loans. You know, so for us, although we have had small amounts of financing, we are a cash-based business, and everything that we've built and everything we've acquired, we've had to pay for it cash because the resources weren't there and the credibility wasn't there for a bank to say, yes, we're going to trust you with this, even though that same bank, those same credit unions were our customers.
Yeah.
So.
And so that's one of the problems I would see, not with just us, with any other minority business, that they just can't get the financing. I wanted to do finance, but you know, being in this area, you have to think about, okay, can you pay back that loan? That's the key.
With the revenue that's coming in from this area.
So that's one of the main things.
So what message would you give to people who want to be an entrepreneur, who want to have their own business?
The one thing that I tell everybody to do is get insurance.
Insure yourself.
You have
incorporate LLC, whatever it is, so that it's not in your name, so that the credit that you're building for your company is not on your Social Security number. That was one of the hard lessons that we had to learn, because we built everything off of our Social Security at the beginning. Definitely that. And then for anybody who wants to get in business, base the business off of your skill. Base the business off of what you do best. And then diversify that, and then let people know that you're capable of doing it. Especially right now, with all the thousands of people that did not return back to the workforce, you have more and more businesses and more business applications that are being applied than ever, because people are now relying on their own skills and their own ingenuity. So the talent is here. We definitely have it. But you know, you have to do it right, and you have to know the steps that it's going to take to make your business viable.